Hi there everybody and welcome back to our third learning journey lesson. Today's date is Wednesday the 13th of May 2020 and our question is, we should all know it by now, how does the plant's environment affect its growth? So we're working on building our knowledge to help us answer our question. Yesterday we looked at naming different parts of a flower. And we also had a little look at what their role is as well in pollination and fertilisation. And today we're going to have a bit of a closer look at the process of pollination, so what it is and why it's really important for plants. Our working scientifically objective that we're going to be focusing on is gathering information and presenting it clearly. Okay, let's get started then. So we've got two pieces of new scientific vocabulary: pollination and fertilisation, and we're going to look at these in more detail now. But just to define them, and you can pop this onto your dojo journal or on a piece of paper so that you can refer back to it if you're not sure. So pop today's date and underline it, and our new vocabulary is pollination. So when pollen, so that's a yellow, often yellow substance that you find on flowers. When pollen, a fine powdery substance produced by a flowering plant, is moved from the male anther, so we looked at what that was yesterday of a flower, to the female stigma. Okay, so that's pollination, and we'll look at and explain how insects do this, but it's not just insects that do it, actually birds and bats can also pollinate plants, and they're called pollinators, but lots of insects particularly do this. And fertilisation, so that's when the male and female parts of the flower have mixed in order to make seeds for new plants, so producing the new seed. So very, very important parts of a plant and their life cycle. Let's have a closer look. So, pollination. Pollination occurs when pollen from the anther is transferred to the stigma. Insects, like the one you can see here, like bees and butterflies, are attracted to the bright colours of the petals and the sweet scent of the flower. They visit the flower to drink a sweet liquid called nectar. Okay? When an insect, like a bee, goes into the flower to drink the nectar, some grains of pollen, you can see that here on the bee's body and all on its legs as well, you can see. Some grains of pollen brush off the anthers onto their body. Okay? Then, when the insect visits another flower for more nectar, the grains of pollen transfers from the insect's body to the sticky stigma of the new flower, and that's called pollination. Okay, so they're spreading the pollen from one flower to another. The pollen on the stigma, so here's the stigma, travels down the style, so it travels down here towards the ovary. And we can't see that in this flower unless we dissected it. Once it reaches the ovary, the pollen joins with an ovule, and then the ovule can then grow into a seed, and this is known as fertilisation. Poppy seeds grow inside the enlarged ovary, so you can see here. Okay, so that would have been part of the poppy's flower. Okay, then it obviously has been pollinated, fertilised, and then we've got seeds in here. Okay, and then that will burst open and then the seeds will spread. And pea seeds grow inside the ovary or the pea pod. So inside each pod here, you can see these are actually seeds. We obviously eat those. Okay, so peas are actually seeds in a pod. All right, hopefully that's nice and clear for you all, because I'm going to ask you now to have a go at this. So, if you've not written today's date, write today's date down for me, please, and our can I statement. Can I name the different parts of a flower and explain their role in pollination and fertilisation? Okay, that's what we're doing today, this part here. Then you're going to write the title, the pollination process. And what I would like you to do here is, I've got 6 boxes, so it's going to be like a storyboard. In each box, I would like you to draw a picture for each part of the pollination process. Now I've started and given an example here. So a flower's bright petals and fragrance attract insects. So I've got my flower, I've got my bee, and I've got my sentence to go with it. Then for the other 5 stages, you're going to need to think about what picture you could draw and what sentence or sentences could go with it. Now to help you, and you can always go back and listen to my explanation that I just gave, but to help you some more, at the bottom here, I've written some statements. Now there's actually 8 statements there and only 6 boxes, so a couple of them are going to double up. You can put a couple of sentences, but the only catch is they're not all in the right order. Just to give you a clue, the first one is, and the last one is the last one, but the others might be muddled up. So you can use these to help you, but be careful, they're not in necessarily the right order. So make sure you've got today's date, our can I statement, our title, the pollination process, and then draw yourself 6 boxes or divide your page into 6. You could fold it if you want to have 6 equal squares or gaps. Draw your pictures and write your sentence or sentences for each stage of the pollination process underneath. Okay, you could number them if you want to, you could draw arrows if you want to, just to make it really nice and clear. All right, I'll scroll down to the bottom part now so that you can pause and have those statements to help you. Good job, guys, and I look forward to seeing your storyboards.